Instagram says I'm live. StreamYard says I'm live. So guess what, y'all? We are live. What's good? What's good? What's good, people? Y'all know who it is. It is your favorite two-time ATS hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, our motto here is simple: on the building. Yo, and we are here Wednesday night. A little later than normal time. Normally we start the quick 30 at 8 o'clock, but life and everything else that's going on. Um, you know what I'm saying? It takes some time or whatever, but I mean, those things got to get happen first, and then after that, I'll be here with you, kicking good shit on the quick 30. Big shouts out to anybody that came through. Well, not to anybody, to everybody that came through last Friday and hung out with me for the dope show with Miss Keisha Nicole and Music Monk. Yo, it was ghetto gold. It was one of those candid conversations about singles, dating, relationships, the whole thing. So big shouts out to them for coming through. This Friday, this Friday will be a good one. Miss JC Rocker will be in the building, sharing this side of the screen with me, kicking good shit. We're gonna drop some of her joints, listen to them, and just really get to know the artist that is Miss JC Rocker. Now, one of the things y'all know about the Dope Show is I don't really endorse a lot of artists. Like it's a lot of new music, particularly a lot of new rap. I just can't get with. But along with Jabba Ranks, who will be here soon, y'all. Just be on the lookout. He'll be here soon too. But outside of Jabba Ranks, yo, Miss JC Rocker has caught my ear and caught my attention. And yo, she'll be sharing the screen with me. Now, Little Trigger Starter and Big Nappy, yeah, they won't be here. If you're not an artist of some substance, I don't really give a damn how fast you can rap or your metaphors. If you ain't really got no substance, and you ain't talking about nothing, you won't be over there. I don't give a damn. Because I have to be able to listen to your stuff even when you aren't around. That's how I consider you a new artist. But please believe in the cut got a lot of play. I got Lucinda in the building. What's happening with your shoulder? Uh I got Spud King in the building. What up, nephew? So you know what I'm saying. With that, jumping into tonight's quick 30. Last week we were talking about the essential movies of the '90s, and I noticed there was a lot of movies missing. But then it kind of worked out because I noticed that some of those movies were biopics. So I said, you know what, biopics should probably get their own list. So a week later they do. So tonight is top 10 biopics. These are like the essentials. These are the ones that for the most part, I think everything on this list, maybe with the exception of two, are on my shelf right now. Like I can go just pull these movies off the shelf and watch them anytime, with the exception of about two or three. So we're gonna jump into this list, man. Everybody in the chat, yo, drop something. Let me know you in the building, man. Just let me know you here, what you got going on. Just go ahead and drop a name, drop a what's up in the chat, and let's get started. So, top 10 biopics. Number 10. This might have been, in my opinion, might have been the best thing that J Lo has ever touched. Uh, I wasn't fortunate enough to be familiar with the real Selena, but at the same time, like J Lo owned that movie. You got Keisha Wade in the building. What's happening with your shoulder? Um, hey, Keenan Martin, how you been, man? Yo, what's happening with you? But yeah, Selena is my number 10. It's like I said, I would have never heard of her had I not seen this movie. I think it was very tragic how her life got cut short so early, but for what it looked like she did a lot for her culture. And you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where, I mean, I was glad to have witnessed the movie, did a little homework afterwards, and I was like, you know what? Like this would have been interesting. I want to be honest with you. I think had she lived, she probably would have been Mexico's Whitney Houston. And I'm so serious about that. I got Miss Richard in the building. What's happening with you? But yeah, so number 10 goes to J Lo Selena. Like I said, she killed that movie. Like I think that might have been the best thing that I've seen her in that I could say, hey, I would watch this movie with J Lo. Uh yeah, I can't even give you too much more on that one because I don't watch a lot of J Lo movies. This one was a made for TV movie, and so it was rather long, but it told a story that we all wanted to see. And that's the Temptations. Number 9 is the Temptations. The reason why we put her on the map and Solitaires. Yeah. Yeah, it did. I mean, because nobody remembered her from being a fly girl in the Living Color. She was the girl from Selena, and then she went over after that. But yeah, I put the Temptations on here, and the reason why it's number 9 on the list and not higher is because it was a made-for-TV movie, and it was told by one member. Now, the Temptations was the Temptations as a group, as a whole, I think it had to span about close to maybe 8 to 10 members. Just when guys would fall off, they bring another guy in. I want to say it's about 10 of them total at the time. Most of them have this, say have passed on, have deceased or whatnot. So there's only one left to tell the story, and I really feel like Otis told that story how he wanted it to go. But when I'm the only one, who's gonna dispute the story I'm telling? So there's that. Exactly. Big shouts out to my LF in the building. What's happening with you, shouting? But yeah, so ain't nobody came to see Otis. But crazy thing is, Otis was the last one allowed to tell the story, so we had to get it from his eyes. And that's just kind of how it played. It was a good movie. It was said Eddie should have told it. Eddie wasn't here to tell that story, dude. Yeah, Eddie had yeah, Eddie wasn't here. And whoever said Facebook user is like, yo, take your privacy settings off. I don't even know who that is. But nonetheless, Temptations definitely got my vote. Like I said, they one of the things about having Otis in there is that they got the rights to all the music. So it wasn't like that. And I could talk about this movie because it's definitely not on the list. That Lifetime Aaliyah movie. Did anybody in the chat see the Lifetime Aaliyah movie? Drop a thumbs up. Let me know y'all see that. Exactly, nephew. Exactly. Y'all ain't nothing about David Ruffin. Y'all just a bunch of temps in search for another David Ruffin. I'm telling you, Leah killed it with the one-liners. If he didn't get an award for that movie, he should have. But yeah, anybody that saw the Aaliyah movie on Lifetime, drop a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, we got Keisha Wade. She's seen it. So one thing about that movie that was terrible that everybody remembers is the whole thing where they couldn't get the rights to the music. So they got Aaliyah singing like Natalie Cole and just whatever they could get their hands on. Yeah, it was boo. They couldn't use none of her music. Exactly. But with the Temptations movie, they was able to use everything. And hearing those original joints, oh man, like I can't say it take me back because that was a time before my time, but that was that Saturday morning cleanup music though. I will say that. Mom's growing up very heavy on Motown. That was definitely some Saturday morning music. So it did still bring back memories. David Ruffin was killing it with the one liners. I'm telling you, and I bet money that Leon improved about a bulk of that too. But nonetheless, I got the real Jay Scott in the building. What's happening with you, bro? I got my boy Cutter Codeine in here. And y'all, if y'all did not see the show last Friday, this man came in here and showed his entire ass. But my brother Cutter Codeine is in here, man. Big shouts out to you, man. Appreciate you for stopping through, G. So we had number 9, number 8. Number 8. I had a hard time putting this at 8, but with certain movies, they take certain liberties on and they're based on true events. I got Devil in Love in the building. Yo, hey, I need to holler at her if y'all want some nice looks, some shades. Yo, Shades by Peaches right here. Go holler at her. Hey, and post the ad up in there too. Post the ad up in the what's the name? Yo, I got my brother, my Scorpio Wonder Twin, Divine Love in the building. Yo, peace God. Good to see family in the building. The real Jay Scott, Corey's Heavenly Cakes, man. Yo, cakes, muffins, and mini bunts. If y'all want them, he got them. Holla at them. Like I said, hey, anybody that come through that got something, come through it. I'll shout you out. If you selling something, as long as it ain't nothing crazy, oh, you can shout it out right here on the dope show. I don't even charge. Boom, there it is. Shades by Peaches. Go get y'all some frames, y'all. She gonna get you right too. Trust me. I'm not only a client, I own a couple of pair too. But But my number eight, like I said, with a lot of these movies, they take a lot of liberties, and it's a lot of the particularly the police stories that they can't really tell the story because there's so much that's tied up in it. So my number eight, even though I know it was a true story, how true, certain liberties were taken, give or take. Hollywood does their thing. Donnie Brasco. And if anybody has not seen Donnie Brasco, it's about the undercover FBI agent that went undercover and went into the mob, and he got so deep into the mob that he got made. Yeah, see, the movie doesn't show that part. He actually got made, and they had to pull him out, and they had to blow the whole case. Like the case, they never were able to lock up anybody because they had to blow the case because he got made, y'all. Now imagine how hard it is to get in the mob and get made anyway. Like that's like even if you're born into the family, it's hard to get made. But this dude was an undercover FBI agent that got made. And the FBI just had to snatch the cord out the wall. It was pretty rough, but it was a great movie. Great Al Pacino, Johnny Depp situation going on. And yes, people, Al Pacino did more movies than Scarface. Yes, he did. He did movies just as good as Scarface as well. Hmm. That he did. This is a good one right here. This is definitely high on my Al Pacino list. So that is number eight, Donnie Brasco. Number seven, we're gonna have to switch around and do a little order switching on. Number seven is, and this is one of the movies I don't own because it was another made for TV movie, but it was a good one. I liked it. It was the BET's New Edition movie. I thought that movie was really good, and the thing was, a lot of the stuff that happened in that movie you didn't know about. I didn't know about it, one, because it was in a time when I had just got here. And then two, there was no social media, there was no Twitter. We didn't see a lot of the backdoor that happened with a lot of artists, like artists getting ripped off, bad contracts, tours, the crazy stuff they do on tour. See, now most artists when they go on tour, they're gonna have a camera up and it's gonna be on the latest TikTok or whatever. Like, yeah, this me and my road manager rolling buckets down the hallway. And it's just crazy stuff like that. But there were no phones, there was no videos, there was no social media. So who who knew what these artists were going through on TV? We didn't know that New Edition until they got on had signed two bad contracts, went on a nationwide tour, even seen some other parts of the world, and came back with a moped, a VCR, and no money. That happened, people. That happened. Ironically enough, the dude, I can't remember his name right off, the dude that had the captain's hat on. Yeah, after New Edition, he got with New Kids on the Block. Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't ask. But yeah, I agree, Spud. They did do a good job with that movie. That was a really good movie. Yeah, it was dope. Very much dope. I'm dope. Movie's dope. We're all dope here. You're dope. But yeah, so my number seven is a New Edition movie. It was good. It was great for a made for TV movie. And we'll be honest, the dude that played Bobby Brown, even when I see him on Power Book 2, I still call him Bobby Brown. I was like, yo, Bobby Brown trying to kill Tyreek. Oh, there you see, he got a name. Woody McClain is Bobby Brown. Yeah. I'm still gonna call him Bobby Brown just because I can't call no grown man Woody. That's just not right. And so many levels, especially not here on the dope show. You just don't do that. That was number seven. Number six. Number six is Notorious. I thought between the two biopics of Biggie and Tupac, All Eyes on Me was very rushed. It was it felt real unthought about. It was like there was no love put into that movie. And part of the reason was because it was originally supposed to be done by John Singleton, someone who knew Tupac personally. And when the studios tried to get overly involved in changing things about someone he knew personally, he kind of just threw his hands up and said, "Fuck it, y'all make the movie." But the problem was you don't take your baby and give it to somebody else to raise because then we're gonna get movies like All Eyes on Me. You just go somewhere else and get your funding and do it that way. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Spike Lee would have probably funded it. Tyler Perry would have probably funded it. Lee Daniels would have probably funded it. Um, anybody would have put money up for that. I mean, you know, after and then John Singleton dies, and so now it's like we got this god awful movie that he had envisioned something better for. But off of All Eyes on Me, Notorious. Well, Notorious was I think Notorious was better, noticeably better. Um, the way they told Biggie's story as a teenager, sitting on the porch, just trying to jump off the porch a little bit, and you know, um, to when he rose up in stardom until his untimely end. Like, it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was easy to follow. I feel like, most of it was on par without taking too many liberties, and like it wasn't like they made Biggie, 6'3" and light brown with hazel eyes and those shit. Like, no, it was a pretty spot on biopic. I will say that one was pretty spot on. So yeah, number six, Notorious. Now jumping into number five, and this is just because when it comes to New Edition, I'm biased. So number five is the BET movie of Bobby Brown. Yeah, it came aboard a New Edition movie. I'm biased. Bobby Brown, greater than New Edition. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm that kind of fan. The Bobby Brown movie. One of the things I liked about it, and I wish they would have kept it going, was how it took the New Edition movie, and when they got into the Bobby Brown story, it was almost like a segue to step over to the right. Like when they fired Bobby Brown off the tour, we follow him home. Now we saw him growing up in the projects in the New Edition movie, but when he leaves the tour, we follow him home just to see what he doing, and then we follow him for the rest of the movie. That's the part I like so much because it seemed like just a seamless jump from we're going here and then we're gonna go here. I really wish too as well that we would have got a Bell Biv DeVoe spinoff and also a Boys to Men spinoff. Like when Boys to Men approached them at the tour bus, when they left and walked off, where did they go? What did they do? And how did we get to Motown Philly and beyond? Like these would have been great spinoffs for that. But nonetheless, hey, I'm not an ad exec. I'm just a host of a podcast. Therefore, who knows? But nonetheless, the Bobby Brown movie, like I said, and it really showed like the it really showed all the pain this dude went through. I mean, losing his parents, losing his wife, losing his daughter, like it, and then he got hit with a lot of it back to back to back. It's like, God, what does it stop for this dude? And it was good to see him find happiness at the end, find someone that he truly loved, that he could be with, he could enjoy his kids, and for lack of a better term, live happily ever after ish. But nonetheless, he came out of a lot of things, and you know we got to give it up to Bobby Brown, King of R&B, because he was dope. The movie was dope. Number four, and number four was a good one. Number four was a good one. I have to say number four was NWA Straight Outta Compton. Um, Straight Outta Compton wasn't a biopic that I learned a lot from because just as someone who grew up loving hip hop, who used to get Vibe magazine source, I had read up on a lot of their story, but at the same time, it's like to be able to see it on a movie screen, and once again with the original soundtrack, with the real music, and then Ice Cube's son playing him, like that was ghetto gold to me. The movie was cool. It didn't get one of the things I would say I commend Dre on. Dre said before the movie came out that he wasn't gonna get too deep into the beefs because the inner beefs were horrible. Like there's a wonder that there's we don't hear about a lot of the violence, but I'm sure something had to come from that because we get into the whole Ice Cube versus NWA thing, but we didn't get into Dre versus Easy, or then how ugly things got with Easy and Jerry in the end. You know what I'm saying? And so they were able to write it in to make peace with the peace that they didn't make with Easy in real life before he passed away. And with that, I'm good for it. But yo, dope soundtrack, dope movie. The actors were spot on. And Straight Outta Compton, definitely in my top five of biopics. Definitely. Number three, number three is probably one of my favorite movies ever. Like this goes beyond biopics. This goes beyond lists. I will watch this movie all day, every day, over, and I might watch this movie later on. That is The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, The Wolf of Wall Street was actually about a real person, a guy named Jordan Belfort, who I want to say they said by the time he turned 26, he was worth about $50 million just from stock market. But one of the things that caught up to him was one his excessive greed. And I mean, if you watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street, oh man, he enjoyed his money. He had a good goddamn time with that money. So I mean, when you're that young and you make that kind of money, enjoy yourself. Like, when you buy a helicopter and you land it on your front yard and crash it and fuck up your front yard, but that's all right because I'm 26, worth $50 million. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. So yeah, between that, the rampant drug use. Oh my goodness! If you are offended by drug use, do not watch Wolf of Wall Street. But if you're offended by drug use, grow up and watch Wolf of Wall Street. I got my brother said in the building, what's happening with you? Hey, we're talking photography. I told you all my people do something. All my people do something fly. All my people do something dope. But if you are looking for a photographer, people, this gentleman right here, yes, he specializes in making ugly people beautiful and beautiful people more beautiful. So holler at my brother. And he got a studio right here in downtown Conyers. So go check my brother out, man. But yeah, so Wolf of Wall Street, like I said, is definitely one of my favorite movies, period. Number three on my top 10 biopics. Oh, yeah, there we go. Boom. Go ahead and spot that up there. I appreciate you there, brother. Yo, if y'all need pictures taken, if y'all got seniors, prom, anybody that hadn't done homecoming yet, whatever you got going on, go see my boy P2P 357 Studio. Look him up. He got you. But yeah, so Wolf of Wall Street, like I said, you just got to see it. And then one of the things that I'm starting to learn that, whenever Leonardo DiCaprio gets with Martin Scorsese, something's going to happen. Something great's going to happen. And I look forward to seeing those two do a lot more together. They did it Departed. If you have not seen it Departed, definitely go watch that. Some more mafia, FBI type stuff going on. So definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it. Also, jumping into number two. Now, number two and number one were really hard. It was hard to figure out which one to put above the other. But one of the things y'all know, and I tell y'all this every quick 30, that got Jay Melly in the building. What up, problem child? But one of the things about me is that once if you know me and I give you number two, y'all should know what number one is. Y'all should. Now, do y'all? Well, who knows? Who knows? But number two, like I said, it was hard not to put it at number one, but number one is just a movie that kind of hits different for me. Number two, Jamie Foxx's Ray. That movie there was so fucking great on so many levels. Like Jamie Foxx truly disappeared into that role to where you don't even realize it's him anymore. You really think you're looking at Ray Charles on the screen. Even though, ironically enough, when the movie dropped, he passed away right as the movie was released. But they said that to study for the role, Jamie hung around this man 24/8 for like a year, just learning like the nuances, learning how to play blind and still be able to function. You know what I'm saying? The whole kicking his foot on the wall to see what part of the room he was in. This dude was frying chicken. He actually fried chicken in the movie, y'all. Not to say Ray Charles did this in real life. Not to say that he didn't either. Movie was great. Absolutely. Jamie killed that. Jamie definitely killed that role. Like, not taking nothing away from Jamie Foxx, putting him at number two for that role. It's just number one hits different, y'all. Yeah. But yeah, he definitely disappeared into that role. Jamie Foxx was Ray. Absolutely. I got Robert Young in the building. What's happening with you, shouter? But he definitely disappeared into that role and he killed the performance. And if you notice, a lot of these movies about singers, they lip sync over the original tracks. Jamie sung all that shit himself. So not only did he have to study the nuances of this man, the nonverbal shit about him being blind, He had to study his voice too. And Ray Charles was very gifted as a piano player and as a singer. I want to say piano player, I'll say musician and as a singer. The one part where the Raelettes came in drunk and he kicked them out the studio and he was like, yo, now I gotta do all this shit myself. And he sung it in four different octaves. He sung it as his own background singers, female background singers at that. How do you bend your voice to do that? That's why Ray Charles is one of the greats. Is definitely high on the Mount Rushmore of the greats. Running back through the 10 through 2, and then I'm gonna throw my honorable mention in there. I got about two honorable mentions. One's like this, but we'll get to that when we get to it. 10 through 2 honorable mentions, and we're gonna jump into number one. But number 10, Selena. Number 9, The Temptations. Number 8, Donnie Brasco. Number 7, New Edition. Number 6, Notorious. Number 5, Bobby Brown movie. Number 4, Straight Outta Compton. Number 3, Wolf of Wall Street. Number 2, Jamie Foxx as Ray. And my honorable mention, I got two. One of them, another Leonardo DiCaprio movie, Catch Me If You Can. This was a very kind of like it's one of those movies if you don't know about, you probably wouldn't know about it because it just flew so under the radar, but it was a really good movie. Leonardo's playing a con artist named Frank, and let me see if I can get this last name out without totally frying it. Frank Abagnale, Frank A. That's what his name was. So the dude's a con artist, and he's posing as, and he's a master forager. He's young, too. He's like 18, like 18, 19 in this movie, and he's a master forager, master con artist, to where he's a pilot. He's been a doctor. He was a lawyer at one time, and it was crazy because nobody could say the otherwise. Yeah, real J. Scott saying it. Catch Me If You Can was that heat, definitely. And nobody was able to catch it. So Tom Hanks, who's the detective, is chasing him through the whole movie, which is hence why the name is Catch Me If You Can. Because every time Tom Hanks thinks he has to jump on him, he slips right through his fingers. I'm gonna be honest with you, this dude got caught at the end only because he wanted to, and then if you watch at the end, yeah, that's all I'm giving y'all. Catch Me If You Can. My other honorable mention, and I say this one was kind of because I'm more than positive. This was one of those not necessarily biopics, but based on real event type movies. Paid in Full. I love that movie, and we got. One of the things that I always say, like I said, is based on real events. First thing they did was changed all the names. AZ Faison became Ace. Alpo became what was Alpo's real name in the movie? God damn it, Rico. He was Rico. That was Cameron. And then Rich Porter became Mitch. I don't know what Mitch name was last name was in the movie, but yeah, Rich Porter became Mitch, Alpo became Rico, AZ Faison became Ace. But there was a crew of guys, and a lot of the story is similar. There was just a lot that was left out of the movie. A lot that was left out. There was some things that were kind of moved around a little bit, particularly with the deaths and the kidnappers and all that. And maybe they did that with just a little keeping a little integrity to the family. It was like, yo, we're not gonna make this into a slaughter movie. Um Also another movie that's not necessarily a biopic that was based on true story was Pain and Gain with The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, and Anthony Mackie. A lot of people don't like this movie. I fucking love this movie. And then I found out that the whole Sun Gym gang thing was real. It was very real. I wouldn't say it was a biopic because there was a lot that was changed from the book, and I liked the movie so much. I actually bought the book. It's called Miami Homicide. There was a lot that was changed from the book to the movie. One, there was more than three guys. I want to say by all the people that were involved in and out of the crime. I want to say maybe between 8 and 12. But that would have just been a lot of guys trying to keep up with and like who does this, who does that, whatever, whatever. But nonetheless, it was a lot that was changed, but it was a lot that stayed the same. Got the point across, and I thought it was a pretty good movie. Now, with that being said, my number one, anybody knows me should know what number one is. If Ray is number two, y'all should know what number one is. Y'all don't know, huh? Denzel Washington is Malcolm X. That I'm gonna be honest, that movie had to be the start of me just kind of changing how I think and how I see things, um, with life and just the world around me. One of the things too in school we always heard about, your usuals. Exactly. See, I told you if you know me and Ray was number two, you knew Malcolm X was number one. She even ended it with saying "duh," because "duh" is it. But I was gonna say one. We heard a lot about Martin Luther King growing up, and a lot of the local civil rights leaders in Atlanta. We didn't hear a lot about Malcolm X before this movie. Like Malcolm X was somebody you really had to dig and do research on before this movie came out. I think Spike Lee did an excellent job. A lot of people complained about the movie as far as the length. That I'm gonna be honest, that 3.5 hours, I enjoy it so much I don't even feel it going by until I look up and I was like, holy shit, the sun went down while I was watching this long ass movie. But nonetheless, I can watch that movie in one setting easily. I like the movie so much. I actually got two different copies of it. Like I got an anniversary edition with double disc. I got one just a regular edition. I really love this movie. I really, what I'm saying, love everything Malcolm stood for. Now, one of the things about this movie was that to use the Nation of Islam in this movie, it had to be approved by Minister Louis Farrakhan. And with that being said, there were some details that I feel were left out of this movie that more so would have implicated the Nation of Islam in his assassination. So these were left out, and it just looked like some random guys who just had a problem. One of the things about that time was so long ago, with Malcolm X being assassinated in 1965, which to mathematics, that's about what 57 years ago. It's just stuff that we won't know. Just stuff that we won't know. And why get caught up in the death part? Let's get caught up in the life part and everything that he taught, everything that he teaches. And if you do not own it, please go get the book that movie was based on of, the autobiography of Malcolm X, written by Alex Haley. And what happened was Malcolm was actually writing his own book, and Alex Haley, the same author of Roots, finished it because Malcolm died before he could finish telling the story. So Alex Haley finished it. It's a great book. I've read it cover to cover multiple times. So yeah, my number one biopic overall is Malcolm X. Um, Thank y'all for coming out. Like I said, we just hit the 32-minute mark. Thank everybody for stopping through. Like I said, if you do anything outside of your 9 to 5, whatever your hustle is, just when you come through to the dope show, drop it in the chat, man. I'll post it up for you, and you know we good with it. Damn it. I'm gonna need you to remember more than that part, Spud. Big shouts out to my nephew. Big shouts out to everybody that came through, kicked good shit with me, and tuned in for the quick 30. Like I said, Friday night we got Miss JC Rocker in the building. If y'all want some good music, some good hip hop, we got a sister out here that's not getting half ass naked just to try to sell a record. Like this sister says covered, and she spits hot bars. So definitely come check her out this Friday night right here on the Dope Show, 8 o'clock. Dope Enterprise on Facebook, Dope Enterprise on YouTube, and my personal Facebook page on Facebook. So definitely, definitely, definitely come check that out this Friday night. And just have some fun with me. Kick it and listen to some good music, man, because that's what we do right here on the Dope Show. Thank everybody for coming out for the quick 30. And anybody interested in being a guest on a dope show, reach out to me, man. Like, every avenue that y'all are on has an inbox. Inbox me, hit me. And a lot of the people I see in the chat, y'all got my real number. Just hit me up and say, I know somebody that does a thing. And I said, cool. I do a thing too. Friday nights at 8. Let's do that thing. Thank y'all for y'all support, man. And I end this show like I end all of them. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony, two-time ATL's hottest DJ. Malcolm X is dope. And I'm out. Peace.